Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ari Papadakis, P-A-P-A-D-A-C-O-S, and I'm the Assistant Special Agent in charge here at FBI New Haven. Thank you for coming today. We at the FBI are seeking to identify any potential and all victims of Mr. Danny Lawhorn, a former Amateur Athletic Union, AAU, basketball coach and basketball trainer. It's alleged that Mr. Lawhorn has attempted to entice players to engage in sexual activity. The allegations include Mr. Lawhorn's requests for massages from players before engaging in alleged sexual contact. If you, your minor dependents, or anyone you know has been victimized by Mr. Danny Lawhorn or has information relevant to this investigation, please contact the FBI. You can call the information line at 203-503-5593 or visit our website at www.fbi.gov/Danny Lawhorn. All identities of victims will be kept confidential. When calling the information line, please leave only your name and callback number, and someone from the FBI will contact you. If you know of someone that has possibly been victimized by Mr. Lawhorn, we ask that you please encourage them to complete the form themselves. Victims may be eligible for certain services, restitution under federal and/or state law. Again, that number is 203-503-5593, and the website is www.fbi.gov/Danny Lawhorn. Thank you.
Can you get into any specifics of how you first heard about it, how you heard about him, and why you're doing this today?
So we're doing this because we are mandated to seek out any and all potential victims, and we are seeking the public's assistance in making sure that this doesn't happen again. There are any other victims that we do not know about, whether in state or out of state.
And is that's a possibility, having with AAU and people leaving this? Is that something you could be a possibility?
It could be a possibility, yes. We're just trying to make sure that we get the message out to any potential victims out there.
Special Agent, this practice of having players come into your home and sort of be a host family, is that like a typical common practice within the AAU league?
So I'm unsure of the actual AAU league. However, I have heard about it in the past. There are a number of these different types of leagues, but whether it's common practice, I do not know.
So
but it does happen.
Is there any reason to believe that this could be more of a systemic problem as opposed to just being limited to Danny Lawhorn?
So I won't get into that because we have no information other than this specific case that we're focusing on at this particular moment.
And can you just talk about how the FBI learned about Danny Lawhorn? Was it through a state case, or can you just explain how we got to where we are today?
So there was information generated at the state level. We've been coordinating with the Hartford Police Department, and that's how some of this information came to our attention.
How many victims are you aware of right now?
I don't know the exact number, and I don't want to get into the exact number, but we have quite a few victims right now.
Is there a strong feeling that there's more?
Potentially, yes. We want to make sure, as I said earlier, we are mandated to identify any potential victims, so there may be other victims out there.
Do we know how many years Mr. Lawhorn was involved in the AAU and possibly, having this practice of inviting people into his home?
The specific number I do not know, but it does go back several years.
So is it safe to say there could be more charges and/or more arrests?
Potentially, yes. We're in the throes of the investigation right now, so we don't know that at this moment. We don't have any other arrests at this particular time, but as with any investigation, things and facts change.
And according to the court documents we saw, not only was he an AAU coach, but there was a basketball trainer. Do you have any specifics of what, where else he may have participated or coached or trained?
Right now, all the allegations that we know of pertain to the AAU League.
And I think in this case, the concern is because these players were coming from all over and then could now be anywhere. That's why you're doing this public plea. Can you go into that a little bit?
Sure. Some of the students or basketball players at the time were from out of state and out of the country. So we're trying to leverage social media to get the message out there. We'll also utilize our legal attaché offices, our overseas office, to take any information of any potential victims from overseas.
And what's your message to these young people who maybe they're afraid to come forward? Maybe it's something that they want to keep behind them?
I would ask that they please come forward to make sure that this doesn't happen to anybody else. that we will keep their information confidential, and they'll be dealing with agents who are professional and have been dealing in this type of crimes in the past and understand it very well.
Special Agent, I'm just curious, since you said you have identified multiple victims, how come there's only one victim that's identified in the federal affidavit?
Right now, we're looking at that one. That is the one where we have that threshold, but we're looking at other victims as well. Just because there's one victim this moment doesn't mean that that won't change. It's at a later time.
How long are you going back? Like, how long do you suspect that this was going on for?
We don't have a specific time frame, but we're going to go back as far as we can. As we identify potential victims, we'll keep going backwards.
Are you concerned at all about statute of limitations in this case?
At this moment, no.
And has the AAU team, obviously very popular name, big WNBA star, have they been working with you guys?
Up until this point, there's been dialogue. We haven't had any issues that I'm aware of.
Any reason to believe that other people knew that this was going on and didn't come forward?
No, not at this time.
And in Connecticut, we've heard teacher issues this week. We're hearing this, just from your FBI experience, are you seeing more similar things happening with teachers, coaches, people in positions abusing their power? Or, I don't know, or is it just more people are coming forward? We've seen a trend this week in Connecticut.
To my knowledge, I don't think it's anything that's new. I think it's always been out there. I think for a variety of reasons, we're probably learning more and more and hearing more about it, social media being one of them. But I don't think it's a trend at this moment.
Final plea for the public.
Please come forward. We're working diligently to make sure that this doesn't happen again. We need your assistance to make sure that that doesn't happen. Thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you so much.
Great job.